Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, on a special guest appearance on a Friday night, guys.
It feels weird, does it not, like being here on a Friday?
It's very weird being here.
Drunk somewhere at a bar, like singing karaoke and...
Carry on my little son.
Mother, tell you to walk my way. It just seems odd. Here we are, Friday night. We are here. But, you know, of course, guys, we said we were going to do 3 episodes a week, regardless of what week it is. And we continue that tradition by doing a Friday episode, since we didn't do a Wednesday episode, since obviously it was Christmas. That was your Christmas present that we gave you. You got to avoid us for a day. You're welcome.
Happy Hanukkah, guys, because now you got us very crazy nights.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, guys. But here we are to talk about all the latest Giants news that we just did an episode last night, guys. So we're going to be honest. There's not a ton of news to go over, because usually we used to go over a preview of the game coming up this week. But let's be honest here. We don't care about the game. It's horrible to say that. We don't. We just want to lose, move on, get the draft pick.
Yeah, I mean,
like that could really be our preview. We hope we lose, move on, let's get the draft pick.
Let's talk about, like, we're pretty much starting our second and third string players this week against Colts, who kind of have a chance to just want to ruin a lot of things, potentials for other players, teams that's out there.
Kind of have a chance.
They actually don't have a chance at all. But there's...
Yeah, they're what? They're not doing horrible, but they're not doing great. Yeah, 7-8 this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, 9-7 is the last wild card spot of the Houston Texans. So technically, they're not out of it yet. You know, but
Houston Texans are not the wild card. They've won the division.
They got the
last wild card,
according to Tankathon that I'm looking at here.
The wild card should go. It's probably the Commanders at this point.
Well, no, the Texans. I'm saying the Texans are the AFC. So you got.
Oh yeah.
You know, so yeah. I mean, that's what they got them as. Oh, you know what? I think they probably have them as the division leader, but they haven't.
That's what I say.
Wild card. That's the way. Listen, guys, I'm so used to looking at the.
I say they won the division because they were playing against the Colts, the Jags.
Yeah, they're projected to lose in the wild card round, and that's why they're at where they're at. So they're at 9-7 ahead by 1 game technically, with the Colts who were playing this week. So listen, guys, the Colts are a better team than us. Let's be very frank. We do not expect to win. We do not hope to win, because we want one thing, and it's 2 letters: QB. That's what it's all about. Okay.
It's also known as one
word.
Your
left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, you shake it all about. And that's what it's all about there. Okay. Yeah. We're doing the hokey pokey here.
I literally just did the pokey 15 minutes ago.
Oh my God. I feel like there's a story with that. It probably involves a small child.
Whoa.
I didn't feel like that. Wow. I did not mean it like that at all. Wow. Someone just took that to an extremely different level than I was taking it. Let's get to our first topic here, guys.
Yeah.
No planes on Sunday. No
trains, no planes, no automobiles.
The planes
is going to the MetLife Stadium. No trains, no planes, no automobiles.
So Ryan Dudley, the New York Post, reporting that high exposure aerial advertising has canceled orders for not 1, not 2, but 3 banner flying planes that were scheduled to fly over the stadium before the 1 o'clock kickoff due to weather conditions. The Post was told by high exposure that the FAA regulations prohibit banner planes from flying when the cloud ceiling is lower than 800 feet, as expected to be Sunday when rain is expected there throughout the day there. So very interesting, because originally this broke early in the day, and people started saying that basically Mara paid this guys off to like not put the planes up, which, let's be frank, guys, I would not be shocked if John Mara's like, here's a check.
No.
for 3 times whatever they're going to pay you. We're not going to do this.
Here's quadruple the amount.
Yeah.
Keep them out of the airway.
We can't have this. But yeah, no, apparently it's a weather condition. But guys, 3 planes were going to go up. That's insane. This is, and guys, we called for a squadron of planes. I don't know if 3 counts as a squadron. I don't know what the limitation is.
I think that starts as a squadron because an ace is 1. Yeah, that
gaggle like geese at that point there. Like, I just want to say gaggle. It's a fun word, but I mean, I think that's where we're at. Again, keep in mind we had 2 banners the last 2 home games against the Saints, December 8th. It said, "Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix this dumpster fire." Then next week, December 15th, against the Ravens, it said, "Mr. Mara, enough. We won't stop until you fire everyone." I'm just going to say, first off, I'm curious, what are the stipulations about when you stop? Like, this is the last home game. Like, does that mean it's over until next season? Or, is that like one of those things that you keep going at that point until, like, the draft? I mean, when do you stop doing this? Because technically they didn't give much stipulation. Obviously, there's not a lot of fine print area in a banner going on a plane. I'm just saying, like,
it costs extra.
I feel like you should just find the plane. Listen, if you can't find the plane because of weather for the last home game, you should just continue flying it either way after the season's over. You could also do it against the Eagles. The last game in Philadelphia, it's not that far. They could probably do it.
Listen, one of our forefathers in a big old rainstorm flew a kite, put a key on that son of a gun, and write a message.
Wasn't that debunked as fake? I thought that was fake.
It's probably fake.
I don't know. I feel like everything.
He probably personally did not fly the kite. Actually, I think what he did was hook it up to like one of those weather
whatchamacallits.
Yeah, the top of the church is like where you put the big metal rod.
A weather vane.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of those roosters they put on top of a farm.
Not so much that, but along those lines.
Yeah, a weather vane. I think they call it. I think that's the proper terminology for it.
Yeah,
but
Benjamin Franklin was like the guy that's like, hey. You put something electrical high in the sky to diverse it as it goes on, yeah.
But there is a rumor that there is another plane coming against the Eagles game that Eagles fans paid for, thanking the Giants for releasing Saquon Barkley. Like, I did hear that today. That's a legit rumor. I don't want to say it's legit news because I haven't heard any actual aeronautics company backing that up. I know that's proper term for a small company. But yeah, I mean, guys, if you got 3 planes already paid for, do it during the Philly game. I'm telling you right now, if you think it's embarrassing at a home game, it's much worse at an away game. Like, that's 100%. An extension of the embarrassment for John Mara. Like, he would be, imagine he's in a box. He's talking to, what's his name? Hugh Laurie. Is that the name? No, that's Hugh Laurie's the guy from House. What's the guy? Jeffrey Lurie. What's the guy?
Doogie Howser.
It's one of the Lauries. I gotta look it up now. Jeffrey Lurie. There we go. Wrong. Hugh Laurie was the guy from House. But Jeffrey Lurie is there, and you're talking, and here's like planes going by thanking you for Saquon, and then 3 more fans saying, F you, Mara, fire everybody. Like, can you imagine?
That's
talk about ruining champagne toast. Like,
that's just like an extra icing on the cake. That's a extra icing, double cherry on top, punch in the face.
I'm telling you, I would 100% go that route. I'd be like, listen, I'm not dealing with this. You're gonna cancel my plane that I paid for today. Screw it. Fly it to Philly next week. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go. We're not giving this up. It's non-deferrable deposit. I'm not dealing with this.
You only give me credit? Let's go to Philly.
Let's go to Philly, guys. Let's do it. Listen, and it's probably more money. Don't get me wrong, but maybe do 2 banners instead of 3 at that point. Maybe that's the rule what you're getting to do. I'm just saying, whoever the 3 people are that paid for the planes, let's get together. Let's figure it out. Let's get it going. I said that
you have to go to one.
I would have loved if a plane did a banner over Atlanta saying, John Mara, fire everybody. Like, that would have been spectacular. I was yelling it from the stands. And it's funny because I have the Falcons fans cracking up, like, "Oh my god, this is insanity!" Like, they're just, it's different in Atlanta than it is in the New York area. They're not as big of fans like that. Like, they just want to drink and watch football. They don't want to necessarily go that crazy.
Well,
like Giant fans, let's be honest, guys. Our day and our mood changes based on what the Giants do.
it's also different because listen, if you're an Atlanta fan, like you had some hopes of Matt Ryan a couple years back.
Oh God, I brought
Who
that up
just
pretty bad.
yeah, who tanked against the Pats in the second half. Like
Tank.
you guys had, I should say tank, but like you just hooped the bed. You hammer heard
He hammered
the football stadium. You haven't heard in the football stadium.
Exactly what happened.
And yeah, that's the last time. Like, when was the last time besides that you guys were in contention to Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's biggest choke ever in the Super Bowl. But like I said, I think it's just difference in the area. Like that's just the way New York is. Like we live and die by sports sometimes. Like at least obviously not everybody, but the people that are sports fans, like we live or die based on what our team does sometimes. And it's bad. Like my wife knows point blank if the Giants are doing bad, except this season. I've gotten so used to it, I'm just numb to it. It's like when you get just like getting stabbed and eventually I don't even feel this anymore. Like that's what I feel like I'm at like this point. But most seasons when she's doing bad, she avoids me basically when they get killed because she knows like I'm in a bad mood. Like you don't want to talk to me. This is not time for the disco ball and party up here. At that point, okay, it's just like
disco Drew.
That's where I'm at. So, like I said, I just two things in this story that really intrigue me. One, is the weather really bad, or did John Mara pay to stop this?
Well, it is going to rain up here. It is called to rain all weekend into next week, but it's also not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be thunderstorms, from what I saw.
I don't know what the rules are. I don't pretend to be a pilot or FAA agent or anything like that. Like, listen, if anybody knows more than we do on this, which isn't saying much, feel free to put it in the comments section what the rules and regulations are as far as this kind of stuff. Like, could we perhaps like give the people that bought the planes a chance to like find a different company that'll do it still anyway? Like, I don't know what the rules are. Is it unsafe? Like, I don't want to put people on safety just for a practical joke. Like, that's insane, obviously. But I want to know like more details on this. I don't know flying. I don't
know much of the details. I know it's very strict. If you think the visibility is like bad, like it's not like. I mean, Drew. I don't know how it's dry in Florida these days, but like in New Jersey, right?
Party whatever you want. No one cares.
I'm saying like New Jersey, like you go from like sunny weather, and then sometimes it's a monsoon out of the sky. No one tells you have to pull over. You're supposed to take your time, but people go crazy.
Yeah.
That's not what it is in the sky. You have to be able to see in front of you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
fly the vehicle.
It's also different in Jersey than it is here in Florida because Jersey, you guys have rain for the whole day, whereas Florida, it rains for 10 minutes and downpours just where there's a hurricane coming through and it's over. There's a difference in our weather we have. So, if it is up here, down here, I should say hypothetically, then they would just wait 10 minutes and fly then.
Pretty much.
So, all righty, guys. Let's get into another topic here that, again, we talked about the fact that there's two names here to keep them popping up and popping up and popping up here. And that is Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. We got a little Shador Sanders news here. Pat Shurmur making the show here. Listen, you guys probably remember Pat Shurmur, former head coach of the New York Giants.
Talk about that bloke once in a while.
He was the head coach before Joe Judge, so we're talking like, it's been a few years now. But, obviously was the coach during the rookie season of Daniel Jones and probably got the best Daniel Jones we ever got basically that year. Here's what he said today about Shador Sanders. He says, I've told all the pro scouts, if you need a quarterback, take Shador. And if you don't take him, you're taking the second best guy. And he said that on Thursday, just yesterday there during a press conference in advance of Colorado's appearance in the Alamo Bowl. He said, most players that make it to the NFL obviously have great skill and ability, which Shador have performed at a high level, which he has a true love for the game, which he has, and then is going to be an outstanding teammate. Really, those are the four factors that make a great pro. You got to have talent. You got to perform. You got to love the game. That's where a lot of the guys fall short. They don't love the game. It's the greatest team sport in the world. So if you don't have an appreciation for being a good teammate, he said, and I mean, like, he's not wrong there, guys. Let's be very frank.
He's not wrong at all.
He says, I don't think at Colorado we realize how good Shedeur is, and we won't until he's gone.
It's very.
You can hate Pat Shurmur for his time in the Giants. Let's be honest, he was over his head. He was not a good head coach. The man knows quarterbacks.
That he does, and he's not wrong for saying that. He's not wrong at all. Like, he's actually right on the money, because I mean, we talked about last year playing the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
Chad Henne, great teammate, made the players play better around him.
Yep.
Didn't have the talent. He's a backup now. But there's guys out there that are great leaders who will make a team better. So if you have the talent, you got the leadership, the love for the game, like, you're just going to be out there balling.
I think the love is the big part to me. Like people, it's hard to judge sometimes in college who really loves the game, because you can get by with pure talent in college. You can. I know people will dispute that with me, but I'm telling you point blank, you can. You see guys like, let's say, for example,
depends on the division, but yes, you're right.
Johnny Manziel, classic example. Johnny Manziel, don't get me wrong, he enjoyed playing the game, but he didn't love the game. There's a difference. What I mean by that is it didn't piss him off so much to lose that he spent 5 hours in the film room watching everything and trying to go over everything. He didn't do film room. That's what he was. He lived off natural talent, and it got to a point where that couldn't any longer suffice for him to be a success. He even said it himself. He said, I never watched film. I never watched film, he said.
Yeah, I mean, he's still obviously like playing football when what's he in CFL, whatever it's called now.
I don't know where he's at. Last time he was in some kind of fan league at that point that he was.
Oh, I thought he was playing in one of those Canadian leagues.
No, one of those. How many leagues do you think they have in Canada?
I don't know, still gonna vote.
Yeah, let's see. He is, last I heard, so 21 and 22 is in the professional indoor football team, the FCF Zappers. The Zappers. I'm looking it up here, which is just absolutely insane. By the way, Dalvin Cook is a part owner of that team. That's how bad it is. The mighty have fallen. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't love the game enough to put the work in.
Exactly. Well, his problem was he's also a party animal.
Well, that's a whole separate thing. Listen, I get it. I was a party animal as well, but stuff happened. I could tell stories about Rob, what he did when he was drunk. Crazy. Yeah, I remember those days. Maybe a few decades ago now, Rob, but I remember those days. You and your craziness.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But listen,
church every Sunday.
The fact that you have a guy who, listen, Pat Shurmur, again, you can hate or love him for the time he had with the Giants. He wasn't a great head coach. The guy probably got the best editing news we ever had, minus he hadn't learned the turnover part yet. But as far as a passer, he was throwing the ball deep. He was making plays, stuff that we haven't seen in many years at that point there. He was a guy who's also, was the quarterback coach for Andy Reid with the Eagles, and eventually was the interim head coach because that organization thought so well of him there. Deion Sanders sought him out when he was done with the Broncos to go work for him in Colorado. So the guy knows football. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time, and I'm trying to pad that and make it seem like crazy at that point. But the guy knows football. And this is what he's telling you. Now, is it biased? Sure. It's 100% biased. The guy coaches this guy. He's trying to market him because it helps his program look better as well. So you got to take it. But you also got to say, he may say he's NFL ready. He's going to be a great quarterback for whoever he gets. Like, there's generic ways of saying what he was saying without making it so superlative as point blank, this is the best guy in the draft. If you take somebody else, you're going to regret it. He has a love for the game. He has all the talent. This is the guy you should take. There's a difference in that, and Shador Sanders is ready. He's going to be a great NFL quarterback.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Like, he should be number one. He plays like a number one. He's definitely done the time, and that actually really helped him.
You can always read between the lines and statements and find out the truth. I'm telling you guys. And this is a statement that says a lot to me, that he honestly believes, Pat Shurmur honestly believes, that this kid is going to make a huge difference in the NFL. And I don't know if he is or isn't. And listen, anybody who tells you otherwise, they're crazy. We never know. Looking at prospects is a total crapshoot.
Yep.
He does a lot of things very well. And I think he works very well in the type of offense that we're actually set for. The things like the throwing and doing catches on the run at that point, leading the receiver, setting them up in a good position to get yak yards. The things that we, quite frankly, haven't seen all year long for a couple of years now at this point. He's very good at. My only concern, like I said, for the get-go is his mentality. Is he going to be able to handle the New York media? Is he going to handle the focus that comes to being the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants? There's a lot of focus that comes to that. And I'm not so sure on that part there. I don't know him personally, so I will never get a chance to. I'm going to trust the Giants if they draft him, that they did the work right and they made the right decision. But if you're going off pure talent, guys, I've said it before that Cam Ward is the guy I prefer because I trust him personality-wise better. But if we're going off pure talent, he may not be the risky guy. He may not be the deep throw guy, but Shador Sanders is the most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft. Point blank. And like I said, I like seeing something like this from Pat Shurmur because let's be honest, guys, if we had the first overall pick, we're probably taking him. He's probably a Giant.
Probably. Absolutely, because look at last year, right? He was NFL, quote-unquote, ready then.
Yep. A lot of people talk about him.
Held out because he wants to stay back and get more ready for the NFL. He wants to prove himself, right? He did that this year, big time.
Yeah.
Which is why he's number one prospect. And not just like talking about like playing the game, loving the game. He's had one of the best mentors to get ready for the NFL that anyone could ever have.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about like who's NFL ready, it's usually like some of those guys that have like, the fathers that may have been in the NFL. Like, and you talk about a guy that's been in the spotlight in the NFL. Who better than Dion? Like
you say, he knows football. These people that know football, they're telling you point blank. And again, they're biased. I'm not saying they're not, but they're putting their name and reputation out there for this kid. And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a really
now listen, if you got Dion telling you his son's going to be the best out there, no shit. Like that, you're a terrible father.
Dion's probably saying that about every single one of his kids. He's probably saying
that's what I'm saying. He'd be a terrible father if he's not saying that.
Overall, and
yeah, be a terrible father if you're not. But
it's not even that. Listen, you can be a father and be honest and say, "Listen, I think he's going to be a good NFL player, probably mid-round pick." Nothing wrong with saying that. That's not disrespectful if it's the truth. But like I said, it's going to be different. I think for based on what you're seeing here with Sanders, and part of it is
if you're a modest. That's if you're a modest father. Yeah, that's if you're a modest father. But if you're Dion, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No modesty in that bone whatsoever.
No
modesty bone in that body whatsoever, guys. All right, let's get to the next topic here, guys. And then afterwards, we're going to get some comments. I do see we got a couple comments here. We'll definitely go ahead and get into that. And then we'll pay the bills right after this one here. So we have to talk about the fact that Giants rookies are dogs, apparently. And I don't mean the Great Dane type. I don't mean the
who let the dogs out.
Pinscher.
The New York Giants.
Joe Shane, because he drafted these guys. And this is coming from Malik Neighbors. He said, and this is talking about he's asked about the rookie class overall as a whole. He said, we're happy where we're at. Continue to grow every day. A lot of things to fix. A lot of things we can look back in our rookie year and continue to try and get better for next year. I'm happy with the group that decided to come here, that they picked. We've done a lot of great things. I'm hoping we continue to do these things throughout the year. I feel like we're all dogs. Theo, you go through everybody. Newman, he had a lot of broken stuff in his foot. He continued to play. Theo, he got his foot broken in the first quarter of the game. He continued to play. We've got that mentality that we want to win. Nothing's going to stop us from getting done what we want to get done. To have that as a group and all in one, the sky's the limit. I'm happy for that. Now, first off, guys, I got to say, again, this is two segments we've done in a row on quotes off of Malik Neighbors that chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Like
Big time.
there's
Like, you want to talk about,
but
yeah, I was about to say, like, it wasn't the most articulate thing you could say out there. But if you look at him before becoming a Giant and look at some of the stuff right became a Giant, like, he wasn't the best out there of talking about his class and coming out there. But like, since he's become a Giant, he's really become like more of a humble speaker and kind of grounded himself a lot.
I would say he's been a Giant, but the last couple of weeks, I think somebody's kind of taught him how to speak to the media where it doesn't become a bad story. Because I think some things he said were not meant the way they came out. I think he's kind of been learning, okay, I got to word it this way, I got to say it this way. Or somebody's been sitting down with him and saying, let's talk about what you want to say before you say it. There's someone helping him. I'm sure on that, because you don't change overnight from, hey, throw me the damn ball, I don't care if I'm dropping it, to, I love our rookie class. It's great.
Yeah.
They're fighting through injuries.
Everyone's got broken shit.
Yeah,
but they're fighting through crap.
You don't go from throwing the damn ball no matter what to this. Like I said, I think somebody's helping him, and I'm actually glad to see that, because that means the Giants are protecting the players themselves, because that's probably where it's coming from, or it's his agent. Who knows which one? I should say either one. It could.
I was about to say either that or he pays on.
Yeah, but I'm saying his agent probably was like, "Listen, I'm gonna stop saying this kind of stupid stuff here."
Yeah, don't worry yourself getting traded somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean that's I was traded, but I mean it's just a matter of eventually you keep having minor stories. Eventually, a big story is going to happen. So and I got to say I agree with him on the mentality on the rookies overall. I mean they both the guys he mentioned, both Newman and Theo Johnson, were starting to come together, improving as the season was going. I'm very curious and hopeful to see what they do next year. Again, you got Drew Phillips, who's had a couple of injury issues himself, but has had a great rookie season. Again, Tyrone Tracy and Malik Neighbors are about to be the first duo of rookies in the league in the last, I think 5 or 6 years or something like that, to hit 1,000 total yards each. Like, this is a great rookie class, guys. As much as we talk about Joe Shane and all the mistakes he's made, and point blank, guys, well, I'm not doing revisionist history. We've said he should go, and I still stand by that. But one thing he did do very well is this draft class.
He did.
If only he had the prior 2 draft classes, he was somewhat close to this. Maybe we would be having this conversation if Joe Shane needs to go. Because at this point, you don't know if it's luck or if it's he figures something out. And I'm not going to take that risk. I'm not. Not when I have the number 1 overall pick and I'm looking to build for the future. Not going to happen. So, all righty, guys. Let's pay the bills real quick. And then we're going to get one more segment, and then we're going to get into your comments, guys. So if you have any questions for us, any comments on the topics today, pop them in the comments section, and we'll go over those here with you. But let's pay the bills.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty, guys. And of course, as always, you can support the show by sending a super chat on YouTube. You can send stars on Facebook, or the cheap way, the free way.
Tell everyone.
Hit the subscribe button, especially on YouTube. That's the big one we're asking for at this point there. And then, of course, with that, you can also, like Rob said, you can go ahead and send a video or a friend that's a Giant fan. Send an audio copy of it to a friend who's a Giants fan, because word of mouth is point blank how we spread. And guys, since about April, this is about the draft time, basically. It's been a huge jump. I mean, we've had literally 4 times the subscribers we used to have since then and everything. We definitely appreciate you guys that are watching.
It's been amazing.
And thank you all enough. I mean, there's nothing short of that. Point blank. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, literally,
fantastic.
We've had 100 new subscribers in the last month at that point. So, welcome to all you guys. Thank you all of you guys for supporting the show. Let's get in the last segment we got here, because this is an interesting one.
Comments first, or
no? Let's do the comments at the end. I want to keep.
All right, let's go. Yeah,
let's do the comments at the end. We just had a brand new one. Even it's got the little notification that somebody just did, and it was Deb. So we'll get to you, Deb. So let's get into Pete Carroll,
sneaky
being rumored to the Giants. Sneaky Pete. We didn't even talk about him. We talked about possible head coach guys because honestly, I kind of thought that Sneaky Pete wanted the 49er job. I wanted the Chargers job, I should say, this offseason. And he's looking for kind of that spot where he can just kind of prance in and be the guy that kind of put a team over the top. Let's be honest, the Giants are not that team. But Marissa Meyer.
I was about to say, he wants to be that sneaky head coach who comes in, fix an organization that's right there, get you right to that point because he's at that age. Then we get you to a ring, closer to a ring, and get out and retire on top.
Yeah, the team that has talent but isn't quite putting it together, almost like a team like Seattle. Oops, did I say that?
We talk about this. What did they win last night by?
9-7. They're 9-7 of the season, guys.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Were they 3-6 last night? Won by 3-6.
6-3. I mean,
6-3. God,
just saying. Like, I just team is a little achieving. By the way, though, I got to say real quick on the Seahawks, how right were you and I and Jackson Smith Najigma, who's now got over 1,100 yards in 16 games?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, one more game to go, but he's over 1,100 yards, guys. We said he was the best receiver of that draft. And we got a couple of people giving us slack because he didn't have a great rookie year. And I said, wait, hold on. Wait, because he's number 3 on the depth chart. Eventually he's going to move up the depth chart. He leads that team in reception yards, guys.
Yeah.
He's beating out everybody.
DK Metcalf and a lock. So
yeah.
Lockett, whatever.
Lockett, he's also got Noah Fant on there. Like there's some legit receivers on that team, and he's beating them all out. So just saying, a little shine there, a little shine in the badge there. We might know what we're talking about drafting wise. Anyway, Marissa Myers at TWSN says the New York Giants season has gone from worse to bad. The Giants currently sit with a 2-13 record and a fall off from the 9-7-1 season the Giants had in 2022 for Dable's first season. It's clear a new head coach is needed for the Giants, and that is Pete Carroll. Guys, I got to say, it's not an option I thought of, really. We were looking over our list of possible head coaches, but it's not the worst idea in the world because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want a first-time head coach again. I feel like I want a guy who's got not just experience, but good experience. Like
great experience.
Pat Shurmur had bad experience beforehand. Ben McAdoo had no experience beforehand.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sneaky Pete.
Well, I'm saying none of these guys had any good experience beforehand. And now you get a guy like Sneaky Pete who's got a Super Bowl, should have 2 if he was just smart and ran the damn ball, but it's a whole situation. And was
but again, it's worked for him so many times through the whole year, but whatever. That's besides the point.
I would say like that's a good it's a good hire. And I think and the crazy thing is because people forget how old he is because of the fact he's Pete Carroll.
He's 72 now. Like he was the second oldest in the league. Yeah. He was the second oldest head coach in the league after Bill Belichick.
He is 73 years old.
Oh, 72. I was close.
But here's the thing. Unlike Belichick, I feel like he still has the ability to,
he chews gum like he's 58 years old.
He chews gum like a 47-and-a-half-year-old.
He's got that ambition of a 37-and-a-half-year-old gum chewer.
Yeah. Like I said, and I feel like I said, it's an interesting option. Now, I will say that he's got other spots that are interested in him. I think we had a comment here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Deb says, I heard rumors of Carroll to Chicago. And yeah, I've heard that as well. A couple days ago, ESPN reported he was interested in the Bears coaching job. I think he wants to go to a place that he feels like he can succeed and succeed quickly. Like, the Bears, let's be honest, guys, it's an intriguing spot because of Caleb Williams, who, by the way, he actually paid for his offense. The offensive lineman thing they're doing this time of the year? He paid for his offensive lineman to go to his nail tech and get his nails painted. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's a legit story I heard.
Oh.
Now, I didn't look for multiple sources on it. I heard one source that usually is right. That's what they said. I was like, oh my God, please tell me that's wrong. But anyway, that's the spot that's intriguing because you have a quarterback that people have high expectations of. Well, guess what happens when you have the number 1 overall pick? You have a quarterback with high expectations.
Yeah.
So he can either go in and go with Shador Sanders, or go in and go with Caleb Williams. I'm telling you right now, if I'm someone in the NFL that wants to kind of be a last spot and stick my reputation somewhere, I would go with Shador Sanders over Caleb Williams. You guys know, if you watched us during the draft season, Rob and I were not as high on Caleb Williams as a lot of people were.
Nope.
We were not the people that were, kissing up to Caleb Williams saying he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, because we said point blank he wasn't. We said Jane Daniels is better. Again, we're right.
Yep.
In time of this
And
segment here,
why do we say that? Why? Because we think Williams wasn't suited for the big media. Like he couldn't handle it. When he lost when he threw that interception in college, what did he do? He went up and cried to his mama.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't think a guy like Pete Carroll wants to deal with that. Like we said, the fact he does seem to interact well with younger players, which I don't mean that as like a knock on him. Like that is a skill that some people in their 70s cannot do. Like point blank, I talk to people about my regular job that are in their 20s and they don't get half the crap I'm talking about. At 42, that's what I am, 42. Like imagine at 30 years, I'm gonna be that guy. Remember that Buster Keaton? Like I remember the first King Kong movie. Like
yeah,
I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Claymatics.
But I mean, again, the guy's in his 70s, been around since the 50s. That's when he was born, and he still interacts well with young players. I thought the Seahawks gave up on him too quickly, to be very frank. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. If there was an issue there, obviously, but I didn't think the coaching was bad, and I think we take that in a heartbeat. I think he's not a bad position for us to go look at there. We could do a lot worse than Pete Carroll. I will say this though: if you get Pete Carroll, I think you need to have a plan for the future, though. Like there needs to be an heir apparent, kind of like we talked about with Bill Belichick. There needs to be a guy that we go, okay, this is the guy that Carroll's bringing in with him. It's going to be the coach in like 2-3 years.
100%. That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. Like, listen, Sneaky Pete does what Sneaky Pete does. Obviously, I've had a high respect for this guy. That's why I call him Sneaky Pete, because he always sneaks out games.
Oh yeah,
like he's always right there. Like you think he's going to lose, Sneaky Pete got you right there.
He's like a wish version of Mike Tomlin.
I mean, is he though? Like
no, but I'm saying like Mike Tomlin always has a team that's like does well and gets in the playoffs. Like
but I don't know if I would say he's a wish version.
No, but I mean by that
an old version.
I'm just saying he's not as good as Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he's just an older version. I would
those
say.
of y'all that watch know that I have a huge appreciation for the coaching skill that Mike Tomlin has. I don't like him as a person necessarily because I still hold a grudge for that whole tripping incident years ago. But he is the greatest coach in the NFL right now. Point blank. That man turns water into wine on the football field.
Yeah. So, like, 100%. Like, if you could bring in, like, Pete Carroll wants to go somewhere where he knows there's not that many moves he has to do with the talent that's there. He needs to make the right moves to bring the talent to make him to the next level. And he has the ability to make that one level just go above where they're at.
Yeah.
So
somebody who can elevate the people on the team, not fight with the assistants and call horrible plays.
Correct. I mean, Pete might fight with you, but everyone respects that guy because he brings in good talent around him.
Yep.
So you bring in a guy like Pete, you bring in, and let's be honest, Kafka's probably out here. You're going to bring someone.
He is. I'm telling you, he's going to borrow Wink's clipboard next week. I'm telling you right now.
So
he wants it so bad. It's not any funny. It's
so you bring in Pete, you bring in a new offensive coordinator that's probably going to take over his job, Pete's job, and like you said, 2 or 3 years, and that's what you do. Let's elevate the team now. Let's show you how it's done.
Yep.
And you're your new guy.
Yep. And I don't pretend to know his staff at Seattle enough to know who we'd want, but I assume it's somebody probably was with him in Seattle. But like you said, it's an intriguing option. I would take it. I think I would take it. I really do. Let's get to the comments here, guys.
All right.
So Deb starts off with Colts have a very slim chance for a wild card from everything I've heard. Yeah, they do. But
they do.
Great.
Still not out.
Yeah, not great. The man cave said, "What's good, guys? Smash that like button. Hell's yeah, smash that.
Do it.
Smash Hulk smash." Deb says,
It's masturbation.
What are you doing there? You're like milking a cow that's not even there.
That's masturbation.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Deb says Steve Spagnuolo is an example of a great DC, but failed as a head coach. Yeah, definitely is. I mean, guy's one of the most decorated defensive coordinators in NFL history at this point here. Between getting, the ring with the Giants as a defensive coordinator, that was the first Eli one he had, because Perry Fool was the one for the second one. Then goes and now has multiple Super Bowl rings with the with the Chiefs now too as well. And let's be honest, guys. Again, the defense is the star of that team, not the offense any longer. So yeah,
past 3 years,
he gets a lot of credit in my eyes. I don't know if I'd want him as a head coach though. I've heard people talk about that. I don't think I want Steve Spagnuolo as a head coach, but I think where he's at, perfect fit, ride or die with Andy Reid. Let us go and be the most decorated defensive coordinator literally in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's probably, if I was Spagnuolo, like that's exactly what I'd be thinking about. Like,
yep.
Do I want to take that job on again at my age?
I would open up a diner in Kansas City called Spag's Diner. Yeah, my retirement plan to call it a day.
What's that Greek dish? That's spagnola or whatever. That's spagnola, but that's.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's like that spinach and Greek yogurt thingy.
Yeah, with egg. Yeah. Call it that. Just like, hey, spagalicious.
Greek dish starts with a G. Yeah.
Starts with an S.
Oh, spanakopita.
Spanakopita.
That's what you're thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a savory spinach pie. Pie.
That's how it's going out.
Let's get to the next comment here. Deb says, at least the Shane Dable talk will end in a couple of weeks because, like it or not, we will have the answer and can move forward from there. So tired of it. Honestly, I hope you're right, Deb. But I feel like if we keep Dable or we keep Shane or we keep both, whatever we do, if anybody's kept, I think it's going to keep going the whole entire season. I think it's going to be kind of like Daniel Jones has been prior years, where it's like, okay, we're sticking with this guy.
It's if we lose.
We're going to keep losing, guys. Let's be honest. We're not good. Deb says, I've heard of rumors Carroll to Chicago. We talked about that. She says, I vote yes for Pete Carroll. He's a young 73, lots of good energy. And that's so weird to say, but he is. Like, you all know, like, listen, we've all met people that are like, 65, 70, and some of them are like, you'd swear they're like 50 something because they're still very active. They're still moving around. They're mentally 100% with it. And you see other 73-year-olds. So let's be honest, they're not in great shape. They're kind of
listen.
I'm trying to be mean about it. I'll be 73 eventually myself, guys. Like,
I have a grandmother 10 years older than that, and she's a young 83. Yeah. Like, that woman walks miles every night.
Yeah.
And there's other women out there that are that age that are in a wheelchair. So,
oh yeah,
gotcha.
Deb says, "Oh, stop the nonsense on Caleb's gift to the line." I said I got to bring it up. We didn't bring it up yet. It's becoming kind of a story, but yeah. I mean, listen, anything you get as a gift, I've always been the theory of like you take the gift, you appreciate the gift. It's I go to the thought that counts thing is kind of cliche, but it is the thought that counts. They were thinking about you. They're doing something. And if I don't even know what happened, I heard behind the scenes a lot of the offensive linemen were like, oh, what the hell? Listen, go there, enjoy your time together, bond, move on. Like, well, you're really need a car that bad. You're an NFL player. You can afford a car right now. In 5 years, you might not be able to, but for right now, you can afford a car. You don't need that. You don't need that stuff. So,
yeah,
like I said, it's just weird because it's an NFL thing. Like, that's not normal per se. But listen, it could be a team building exercise thing. It really could be. Where they all get to know each other. Listen, I get petties and manis all the time whenever
Let's get our nails done.
I don't do it now because I work in a place that my hands get very dirty and they don't stay clean. But I think that one of the first things I do when I go on a vacation is I go get a mani-pedi, and it's kind of my way to relax. And okay, I'm back. I'm in off work mode. All the work dirtiness is taken off my hands. Like, I got nothing against them. It's just it's not for every guy. And some of them is just they don't like it. Some of them, quite frankly, is they're not secure enough in who they are as a man to think it's okay to go to a nail salon and get work done. That's their problem. But that's life nowadays. That is what it is.
listen, I've got a couple of manicures. I'm okay with that. I had a pedicure once, and they took the cheese grater to my foot. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. That was the last time I had it.
They have a mall by me that does the fish thing. You know, the little fish that eat the.
Oh yeah, I would be more secure with that than the cheese grater.
I've been curious to try it just because I'm curious, but again, where I work is obviously I'm outdoors. I'm using my hands to a lot of things. They get dirty, they get nasty. Like I look some days, like 2 days after work, I'm like, is that a black spot on the back of my hand? Like it's like, and you try to clean it off, and it's just a stain for the temporary until it eventually wears off. But that's life with the industry that I happen to select. So
I was going to say, yeah.
So it is what it is. All right, guys, that calls it a night for us here. We're gonna be back again for you guys tomorrow. Sunday. Time there talking about the Giants versus the Colts. There, we may or may not have an in-game, play-by-play talk here. That depends on a couple of things that I got going on there. But at the very least, Rob and I will be there for the post-game show at that point, going over all the things that happened in the game, going over how happy we are. We still have our number 1 overall pick, that kind of stuff, It is what it is. We're expecting to lose. But like I said, we'll be back then for you guys on that and give you guys all the latest news and all the latest happenings in the Giants organization overall as a whole. We appreciate you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Guys, we've had like 10 people subscribe just today alone. We are on a quest on YouTube specifically for 1,000 likes. And we just had one during this show as well. So now we're up to, like I said, 11 new subscribers just in the last 24 hours. But like I said, it really does help us. 1,000 is like one of those numbers for some reason YouTube arbitrarily just slide it is when they start handing people money. We like money. So if you can help us make some money, we'd appreciate it. Even if you don't necessarily watch a ton of YouTube stuff, hit the like and subscribe to help us out if you're on audio or whatever. As always, though, guys, we are on, as we said, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and of course,
my
LinkedIn page. Yes, of course. And of course, as always, we're available the next day on all the audio podcast platforms. That's, of course, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, all the big ones there. Guys, if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe on video and the audio. It helps us out. Again, we do appreciate it. Leave a review wherever you can, especially Apple Podcasts, for example, is pretty good for leaving reviews. Appreciate you guys for listening as always, guys. We'll see you guys Sunday after the game or possibly during the game. We'll find out. And as always, Giant fans,
Go
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
please, I'm